Okay, I think you'll like this one. Okay, just listen to this one. So today, big day in the UK. It's Budget Day. George Osborne, Chancellor of the Exchequer. I suppose he's the second most important politician in the UK after the Prime Minister. He gives his budget and he gives the sort of financial outlook and the tax, what the government's going to raise and what it's going to be spending it on, and the changes to taxation, which is what most people are interested in. Is fuel going to go up? Is beer and spirits going to go up? Cigarettes, blah blah blah. And as a result of that, he tends to give a lot of interviews on Budget Day. And he gave an interview this morning to the Today programme, which is probably one of these programmes that punches very much above its weight. It's a radio programme on Radio 4, BBC Radio 4, and it's a politics programme early in the morning. And he said that he believed that within the next few days, the UK would have spearheaded this campaign in the European Union to get the tampon tax abolished. Right, because that's become a big thing and a bigger and bigger thing. This tax on women, that is the tampon tax, this 5% VAT rate that women have to pay on sanitary products, sanitary towels, tampons, etc. To use the words of the Labour MP Diana Sheriff, the MP for Dewsbury, I genuinely feel really passionate about this. It's a tax on women. The fact that tampons are taxed at 5% suggests they are a luxury item. I can't think of anything less luxurious. And this is how it plays out in the paper. They will show you an article with tampons and say, these are taxed at 5%. Look at all these things that are taxed at 0%, like crocodile meat or games of bingo, right? Or men's razors. I don't know why it's always men's razors when all razors are taxed at 0%, but men's razors. I think it's to show that it's like a tax on women. Men are buying razors, even though women are buying razors just as much, but men are buying razors, women are buying tampons. This is a fucking tax on women, right? Okay, just a little update here because I just fact-checked this after recording that. It turns out that this men's razors thing, men's razors, isn't even true anyway. That actually all razors attract a 20% VAT charge. So everywhere you see it saying about men's razors are tax exempt, how can they be tax exempt and we're paying 5% on women's sanitary products? Well, actually, they're not exempt and you pay 20% on razors. How VAT works, it works a little bit like a sales tax, even though it's a little bit more than a sales tax. And for most products that are taxed, it's 20%. For some of these products, it's 5%, and a few things are exempt. Tampons are at this significantly lower rate, this marginal rate of 5%, which is the lowest that the government can set without the EU rubber stamping exemption status. So that's probably why it's got the category that it has, which is this category of non-essential luxury goods. But it seems to have caused more consternation than it solved, putting it in that bracket, because it's got them screaming from the high heavens, how on earth can they regard a tampon as a luxury good? Right, you know, this is just anti-woman right from the word go. And you can kind of understand the perspective in as much as, of course, it's an essential good. And personally, I will be pleased to see this get the 0% status, right? But imagine for a moment the outcry if toilet paper attracted 5% VAT. Imagine how people would feel about that. Imagine the outrage that you would have if toilet paper attracted a 5% VAT charge. Well, surely it should be exactly the same for women's sanitary products. After all, they are surely as essential as toilet paper. You have to wipe the shit off your ass. You have to stop the blood just pissing all over the floor, right? So you can understand the point, can't you there? The only elephant in the room, right? The only real big fucking elephant in the room that's crushing you into the fucking corner, right? Because the elephant is so much bigger than the rest of the room, but which is never, ever, ever mentioned in every single article that you ever see showing how unfair this tax is that toilet paper attracts a VAT rate of 20%. Right, you go ask people about the tampon tax in the UK. Most of them will tell you, oh yeah, that's the VAT rate of 5%, and the claim that, you know, this is a non-essential item. Ask them what the VAT rate on toilet paper is. They won't even be able to tell you. And I think this is a marvellous example. Although I'm for the measure that's going to be taking place, right? Because I don't see why people should be paying tax on something that is that essential. what a way to spin it. It's not spun on its own merit. It's spun as if this is this is aimed against women, and if it was an essential product, otherwise, that we wouldn't be paying anything. And yet surely the most essential product of all of them, toilet paper, we're paying 20%, and yet cynically, even though that's the obvious thing to compare it to, every single article you ever see never mentions it. Why? Because it kind of really undermines the case, doesn't it? So why not instead present these ludicrous things like cake decorations and crocodile meat to make your case, you know? So that's I really find that interesting. Both in the specifics of the case, but also in the way that the media can manipulate it by being very, very choice in the examples that they choose to show you and the examples that they just keep to one side. What I'll do is I'll give you some links to some of the articles, the recent ones, and also some over the last couple of years, so you can see exactly what I mean. Okay, thank you for watching. Bye for now.